The Creative Memories Decorative Trimmer may be retired, but here's a wonderful layout that you can use this classic on. You may have seen a super fast reel I shared with a technique to create these wavy pages. Well, here's a slightly longer and updated version of that layout if you like a slower pace. Hi, I'm Donna Guest, the Lazy Scrapbooker and Creative Memories Advisor. Let's get started on this layout featuring the decorative trimmer, and I'm going to fill in these gaps. So just as I was putting the finishing touches on my reel to show you how to do this layout, when I went to get the link to the product, I noticed that it had just gone on last chance, like just that same morning. So this product is now retiring, and I've ordered a limited supply that I will have some available. So definitely check with me if you can't get it online. But I know there's so many of you that have this decorative trimmer from Creative Memories and you probably don't use it a lot. So I want to teach you this really cool technique to do this layout that's a lot easier than you think. Here's what you'll need to complete this 2-page layout. First, you're going to need the decorative trimmer, of course. You'll need repositionable tape runner, definitely repositionable tape runner. Do not even think you can do this for the first time or the second time with the regular tape runner, because we're going to make a mistake or two. Just plan on that. Then you're going to be better off if you have a silicone mat. If you don't have a silicone mat, there is also wax paper or parchment paper from your kitchen that will do the same thing for the repositionable tape runner. Then we're going to need 3 sheets of paper, or just 1 sheet of paper if you want to do this directly onto your traditional Creative Memories scrapbook pages. You can do that. I'm going to do them onto these background pages for something a little bit different. So I've got 2 matching pages for the background, and I've got this one contrasting but complementing page for the strips. And if you're wondering what this is a 4-year-old paper pack called Winter Frolic that I just dug out of my personal stash. Okay, we're going to move our 2 background papers out of the way, and now we're going to take the 1 paper that we're going to be cutting. Oh my gosh, look what I'm not using. That's so cute. But this is going to work out nicely. We're going to fold diagonally and make sure it's a perfect fold, not a sloppy fold, corner to corner. And then let's put a nice crease in that. I know I am usually not one to love a nice crease in a piece of paper. I'm worried about it showing up, but you'll never know it's there. It's okay. Now, here is what we're going to do to solve that gap problem. So if you've done this page from my video before, we're going to fix that gap up there, because I looked at that and I didn't really love it. So this is the key. These measurements are key. So we're going to start with your decorative trimmer, and of course we're using the swell. This is the wave, the really wavy one, and this is the swell. We're going to use the swell, so we're just inserting from the left, going towards the right. We're going to go 3/4 inches. That's very specific. In my first video, I was like, I go about 2 inches, whatever. 3/4 inches. And I'm going to show you why we need to do this, because instead of having 14 pieces, we're now going to have 18 pieces. That's a lot. 18 pieces means we're going to have 17 cuts. Again, you want to make sure that you have an odd number of cuts, because that's going to give you an even number of pieces. Once we cut this once, we've got 2 pieces. So we're going to have 18 pieces. Now, even number is what's key, but to get the exact look to make this absolutely perfect, this is what we do. We're going to cut it. We're going to measure it at 3/4 inch right there. You can see that. And then cut. All right, look at that tiny little piece. We're going to put it over here. And I'm wishing I'd chosen a darker paper so it would really stand out on this table covering, but I didn't, and here we are. Now, the next thing you're going to do, now we're going to convert all the measurements to 1 inch. We're going to push it over to the 1 inch mark, and that's really easy because that's the edge of the trimmer. All right, there's 2 pieces. We're going to do that again, and always make sure when you're pushing it over that you're lining up that folded edge with the edge, that little ledge of the trimmer. Okay, very good. And keep pushing. Being very careful to get it straight at the top and not crooked. If I make my paper crooked, then our waves are not going to be perfect, and we want perfect on this. I'm usually not one that has to have a perfect page, but for this, it's going to look good. So you just continue cutting. We'll count again to make sure when we get towards the end. But I've done this enough times now that I know exactly the right combination here of measurements and number of cuts to make this perfect. As long as you consistently move it over 1 inch. I'm not even going to fast forward this because I want you to see this whole process. And it doesn't take long. Almost done. Okay, I'm getting where I want to count it again. So let's count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Wow, so we're going to get 3 pieces out of this. It's crazy. So 16, and this is going to be 17 and 18. I know that looks like that should be just 1 piece, but it's not. Wow, that's so teeny. That's just tiny. Okay, we're done with this now. I'm going to put it aside. And so what's very important about this is that you keep all of these pieces in order like I just did. You don't want to start rearranging them on the table, or you don't want to push them aside and let them rearrange themselves, because I promise you, you will have a monster puzzle on your hand if you do that. If you leave them like this, I promise you this is going to be so easy. So now I'm going to rearrange my table to make this as easy as possible. We're just going to push them up a little bit, still in order. Still very organized. We did this, a lot of the ladies were doing this at the last retreat I hosted, and if their pieces got rearranged, they had some troubles. They did. So I highly recommend that you place them first. Usually I like to attach things right away, but no. We're going to place these first just to make sure we've got it right. At this point, I've done so many of these, I feel confident that I could do it and attach them, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want you to do that the first time you do this page. So we're going to start over here where we started. And our first little piece that we cut that was 3/4 inches is going to go in the top left-hand corner of our left-hand page. Then we're going to take the next piece because we were smart and we kept them in order. And it's going to go over here to the top left corner of the right-hand page. Next piece, we're going to alternate and go back to our original page. And if you can't tell, like if I came in and did it this way, well, I would figure out really quickly that that doesn't match right there. Those are hanging off the edge. You got to turn it around here, and now they fit evenly with the page. And I have a nice gap here where that should be. Now, also by doing this, we are making sure that our little hump that we have from the trimmer, they're all going the same direction. If you do like puzzles, you're going to love this layout because it's just perfect. It's fun to put together. And always, these ends are going to tell you where it's supposed to go, which direction it's supposed to go in. And then you see how the waves are going together, the waves that we made from the trimmer. Oh, our pieces are getting larger now. We're in the middle of the page now. Here's a really big one, and this is that corner piece you can see because, oops, how it fits into the corner there. Same thing here. And all I'm doing is alternating, just alternating back and forth. So again, I'll say it again, if you keep your pieces in order, this is so easy, just so easy. And I'm going to show you my best practice for attaching these and getting them right without having to pull them up and reattach them, because nobody wants to do that, even with our wonderful repositionable tape. All right, we're in the home stretch now. Okay, so notice how we fixed that gap. I fixed the gap that was up there, and now I'm going to fix that gap that was down here. And when these are properly spaced, like the staples come up through your album, it looks like those waves just continue. And this piece is honestly just laughable, but I'm going to put it there anyway. It's so teeny. I love it. I love it. So now we're going to put these on. So it's best to do these one page at a time. I'm just going to push this gently out of the way. I don't want to push it over my table and let it fall off. And then I'm going to put my silicone mat here, or if you have parchment paper, that's fine too. And we're going to start attaching these. Now, one thing I have learned is that it is easiest to attach it when the piece is closest to you. If I try to attach this up here, it's going to be hard to see where the edge of the paper is, and I may get it wrong. And then I'll have to redo it. So I'm going to start by putting a good amount of repositionable, just mostly on the edges of this paper. And because I can see my paper right here without getting my head in your way, that's just perfect. Okay, then we're going to do this one. In a minute, when I get towards the end, I'm going to flip my paper around. But I'm just starting down here where I can see my paper. And I know I'm going right to the edge. And so that way I'm not really pressing down yet. I'm just making sure those edges of my strip meet the edge of the paper, and then I get a nice little push there. I haven't had to redo one yet. Now, I just started, but let's see. This is a larger one. All right, so again, I'm just holding at the edge to make sure I'm pulling it out straight, making sure it touches the edge. And then, whoops, spoke too soon. So let me try again. It's a little more challenging with these larger pieces. Okay, happy with that. Now this big one, this is the biggest piece, but it fits so nicely in those corners that I shouldn't have a problem with it. Keyword is shouldn't. Oops, dragging a piece with me. There we go. So I'm going to just kind of start right over here in this corner. And again, this is why we use repositionable tape and then end up in that corner. That is pretty perfect in one try. Look at that. So now, since these are farther away, I'm going to just rotate my paper around. If you're ever unsure where the corner is, always look for these corner pieces. You've got them in the top left and the bottom right over here. Or again, we're going to just hold from the end. I've done this enough that this is the best practice for doing this. Makes it easy. And I'm really happy that I figured out or just went back and redid it to fix that gap, because that was kind of bugging me on my page that I'd done. Super easy when it's short pieces like this. And this one I can't mess up, can I? Well, never say that. So it just fits nicely in the corner here. All right, there is our left side, and it's so nice. It's smooth. It's wonderful. Oh, it's just beautiful. Okay, I'm going to push that one aside, and now we're going to bring this piece down. Let's start with this teeny tiny, just embarrassingly small piece right here that one could say I didn't even have to cut, but I did. Here we are. There we go. Okay, now we'll move on to something a little bigger here. Again, I'm making sure to get tape runner at the edges there. You know, at my retreat, one of the ladies was doing this with the old size papers. You remember how our old papers prior to 2008 were not a true 12 by 12? They were 12 inches tall. The pages, I mean, 12 inches tall, but 11.5 inches wide inside that jeeping that's on the edge of your scrapbook page. So we're like, well, let's just try it and see it. And so I did it with a scratch piece of paper first because I didn't want to ruin her paper, but it worked out beautifully. So what we did is we just cut her paper, cut a 1/2 inch off her paper so that it was 12 inches by 11.5. And then we folded it and a 1/2 inch was hanging off. We just kind of ignored that and still did the cutting. And miraculously, it just worked so beautifully. It was amazing. So don't be afraid to try it if you're still working with some old scrapbook pages. So notice I just flipped this around here so I could see it, because it's all about seeing that edge, if you can get it close to you. When I made the reel, it's about 90 seconds. That's the max it can be. And it was challenging getting all this in 90 seconds, but I managed. Almost done here. Making sure I get those little corners. Oh my gosh, I love this so much. So there's my right side, and if you're confused about where it is, there's the corner, there's the corner. And these are my staples that will be running through here. So it really does look like those waves are going through both pages. So let's add some embellishments here. All done. I've added some stickers in the upper and lower right corner because I feel like that is the perfect place for them, since that's where we've got those little corner pieces. And I've just added some placement mats here for now because I'm all caught up on my snow photos. I'm going to have to wait till it snows again to complete this layout. And I live in Georgia, so that may be a while. But I do love the improvement I made to this because I love that I filled in that gap there and down here. So I hope you do too. I hope you have so much fun doing with this. This is a great layout because it really does give you so much room for your photos. And despite the fact that it's pretty busy behind it, if you mat your photos, and I do suggest you do that, it's going to keep the focus on those photos and make them pop right off the page. And as you can see, those waves look good on beach pages too. So have so much fun doing this. Be sure to like or subscribe to see all future videos. Thanks for watching.